Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT Joe Lorick from the Money Etiquette Group, and today I begin my first video in a series of videos about Black-owned companies and investing in their stock. I'm going to review several companies. We're going to start with, just to put that out there, Radio One or Urban One Inc. This is a very popular company. Most people know about it who listen to radio, who have listened to the radio over the last 20 to 30 years. I'm sure you've listened to some program that was broadcasted by Radio One, aka Urban One Inc. But nevertheless, this is the first video in a series. I want to talk about investing in Black-owned companies. I want to talk about if they're really Black-owned, their chair, their board, their chairperson, their CEO. Let's really dive into these companies, and let's start with Urban One Inc., aka Radio One. So let's get to it. Urban One Inc., formerly known as Radio One, most people know them by their trademark. Radio One is a media company. They have a media that's broadcasted through radio. They have a television station. They have a website. They have a digital platform in which they distribute news. But we're talking about a media company. If you've listened to so-called urban radio, I don't like that term, but so-called urban radio in the last 20 years, these are a lot of R&B hip hop stations, sometimes old school R&B, old school music. But nevertheless, these stations have been around for some time. You've probably heard Cathy Hughes, a message from Cathy Hughes from time to time, whether it be about the Black culture, whether it be about supporting Black radio and urban radio, supporting the Black community, supporting different causes. You've probably heard of Cathy Hughes. Well, Cathy Hughes is the chairperson of Urban One Inc. Her son, Alfred Liggins III, is the CEO. As of today, I believe Cathy is the largest shareholder when it comes to shares of the company, at least Class D shares, which are not voting shares. I believe she has the largest Class D shares, and I believe Alfred Liggins may at this time have the largest amount of Class A shares or voting shares. Nevertheless, whether it's a little bit more or a little bit less, we know that that one family owns the majority of Radio One, aka Urban One Inc. Now, if you want to talk about the company itself and its platform, Urban One, through the trademark Radio One, has about 60 broadcasting stations. They also own BlackAmericaWeb.com, news and entertainment website, iOne Digital, TV One, if you are subscribed to TV One through your cable subscription. If you watch shows on TV One, yes, TV One is owned by Urban One Inc. So this is the same organization. And if you watch those channels, then certainly you support them. But this is just a quick glance at the company, this media company that's been very powerful when it comes to Black-owned media and even targeting Black consumers. Now, when it comes to Urban One Inc. stock, okay, we have two types of stock. You have Class A shares and you have Class D shares. Class A shares are the shares that have voting rights that come with them. Class D shares do not. The ticker symbol for the Class A shares is UONE. Again, UONE, like Urban One, UONE. The Class D shares are UONEK. Again, UONEK. That's for the Class D shares. They come at different prices. Obviously, the Class A shares with voting rights, they're more expensive compared to the Class D shares. And if you've been paying attention to the market lately, you'll see that both of those stocks saw a sudden increase in the last week or so, and then a sharp decline in the last few days. But we're going to get into that. Again, though, if you're looking to invest, again, UONE for the Class A shares, UONEK for the Class D shares. But let's talk quickly about what's been happening in the market with UONE stock. Okay, when you look at over the last 2 weeks, we saw a sudden increase and a sudden decrease. There were two factors that played a part in that. One factor is Juneteenth. There's been a big movement, ongoing movement, when it comes to investing in Black businesses, especially on Juneteenth. That was strategic. You also had a big sale right before Juneteenth. I believe this happened June 11th, June 12th, 2020, where the 10% stakeholder in Urban One Inc. sold all of his shares, and or at least that company sold all of his shares. The company I'm talking about is Brigade Capital Management, which is based in the Cayman Islands, and I believe Dan Morgan III facilitated this sale. I believe about 4 million shares were sold, which was roughly 10% of the ownership stake in the company. Now, once that happened, the market went into a slight frenzy in terms of just seeing the pricing and the just seeing the volume increase. Okay, we saw that the value increased and the volume increased, and that came to a plateau on Juneteenth, where for the Class A stock, you're talking about $50+ in value for each share. And when it comes to the Class D stock, we're talking about $4. If you look at where both stocks are today, the Class A stocks are roughly around $20.63, and the Class D stock are roughly around $2.33 per share. So that's a big dip from where it was on the 19th. Today, by the way, is June the 24th when I'm recording this video. So those two things went into this stock going up, or both stocks going up, and then seeing a sharp decline. And when we talk about strategy and investing, that probably worked well for those who were informed, those who are day traders, those who are looking to get in and get out. But for someone that's holding for a long term, it could have hurt if you bought in, let's say at the $50 mark, if that high, or you bought in at $4 or $5 and then it dropped down to $20 in the next few days. So I hope you didn't get in at that point, but that may have happened. But that's what's been going on with the stock over the last few weeks. We've seen a sharp rise and a sharp decline. So I hope you weren't playing the game and jumped in just for the sake of investing and making money in a few days, or you weren't jumping in at the height and then you have to hold for years just to make sure that that value increases to that level. I hope that isn't the case, but let's just say you didn't and you're starting fresh. Well, here's some more information that you want to consider. The company right now, when you get into their finances, they're not making money right now. This is a company that has made a profit year over year. We've seen years where they were up, years where they were down. Well, right now, the company is down. I think they're down in terms of net profits by 24%. And I'm not saying 24% compared to the last year. I'm saying they're at a negative 24% net profit, meaning they're losing millions of dollars right now. And that's on about 94 million in revenue as of March 2020. We don't have the numbers yet. At least I don't have the numbers yet in terms of what happened over April through June. I assume that they did well because, of course, what's going on right now is election season. So a lot of political ads have been purchased, and certainly that will continue throughout November. But again, guys, this is a company right now, an organization right now that's not making a lot of money. So should you invest in a company that's not making a lot of money at the moment? Well, you have to look at what it's done over the last 10 years, over the last 15 years. You can't just look at this one moment and make your final decision unless you're day trading. If you're looking to invest in a company on a long-term basis, I would say look at their record over the last 10 years, 5 years, and then think about it. But there's also one other factor you should consider when you're thinking about investing in this black-owned company. Will radio last over the next 10 years? Will it be here in the next 15 years? Are they positioned to transition to a more digital platform? Are they ready if we go away from traditional radio, which we've been doing slowly but not completely? Radio is still the dominant way to listen to music and to get information from a spoken word point of view. When I'm not talking about a visual where you're looking at television, I'm saying just from words, just from broadcasting vocals. Okay, radio is still to this day the primary #1 way to disseminate information and get your music played and get ads played. And we saw that based on how much money campaigns were spending on this past political season. I was a part of a campaign and we spent a lot of money on radio ads, and we know everyone else did because it's still a popular medium. But let's get back to the point talking about the longevity of Urban One Inc. We do know a few things. One, they do have a digital platform. They have a website. We know that when it comes to listening to their radio stations, you don't just have to listen via live radio. You also can use one of the 4 or 5 apps out there like iHeartRadio to listen to the station. So you still can get the content without listening to the FM and AM broadcast. We also know that they're not limited to radio. We know that the company has a television station, TV One, that's been running for some time. And with the push of supporting black media, black shows, black entertainment, I don't see TV One performing worse than it has been. In fact, right now it should be performing quite well. And when you think about media, the way that media companies make their money is through advertisers. So if they know that viewers are watching TV One, advertisers will spend their money with TV One. If we know that we're listening to their stations, advertisers will spend their money with their stations. But again, the real question is, will we stay there, and can they adjust in a 2030 economy, in a 2040 economy? These are things you should think about when investing long term. The second piece of information, the second thing to consider, I would say above all the numbers, is, are you investing in Urban One Inc. to simply support a Black-owned, Black-run business that's been around? Some people say the numbers say what they say, but I want to support this institution. This institution, this media company belongs to us. So I want a piece, I want a percentage, I want to invest. Well, you have the opportunity to go into the market and buy shares, buy as much as you would like, as much as what's available. But that has to be a reason not only tied to net profits. That has to be a reason that's not limited to the numbers, because if you look at the numbers right now, it's not the best investment. But if we're looking at longevity, maybe it is. It's something that I want to know from you guys, what you think about it. Do you feel like radio is going to stick around? Do you feel like so-called urban radio is worth investing in? We do know that most artists, when it comes to hip-hop, R&B, when it comes to popular music today, the top artists are typically Black or of African descent. So if the top music is coming from those of African descent or Black people, you have to wonder, when you have platforms that primarily promote their music, are we going to support that? Will that last, or won't it? Will artists buy into it? Will streaming kill it? Digital radio, I'm sorry, not digital radio, satellite radio was a big wave. People wondered if traditional radio would survive satellite radio. It has. Satellite radio did not knock out traditional radio. So it's still here. What will happen when we hit 5G? What will happen as our digital world gets faster, as it progresses going towards 5G and I would say countrywide adoption of 5G? Will this medium still be around? I don't know. I think so. But that's something to consider. That's something I want to know about from you guys. If in your opinion, this medium is going to stick around, or it's something not worth investing in. If you're considering investing in Black businesses, again, when you look at the background of this company, this is a Black-run company. The board is majority or at least half Black. Their executives are Black. Their shareholders are Black. So this is as Black as you can get, for the most part, for companies that you could invest in. So are you up for it? If you are, remember the ticker symbol is UONE for Class A voting shares, and UONEK for Class D shares. Right now, those Class D shares are about $2, $2.33. The Class A shares are about $20 a share. Will you invest? Won't you invest? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Support me. This is free. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we're going to do a series of videos. This is not the last one. We're going to move into the financial world in the next video. We're going to get into banking in the next video when we profile the next company. But guys, pay attention, because it's important that you know some of the background information about these companies before you invest. And also, the timing of your investments matter. You should understand and know that if you invest at a height, when a bunch of hype is coming, it could burn you in the long run. If you invest at the right time, you can make a lot of money if it remains a profitable company.